Alright. I'm down for Snapfire, even just for skim. Even just for skim. Just the damage into the arena would be really nice.
Or they just lost 2 out of 2 games.
Shut up!
Well, 0% win rate this series.
His stats alright.
Don't flame the stats.
Lie.
They do lie.
No.
The problem is it didn't go mid. I wouldn't mind
Doesn't make my stat any less correct.
Whatever, bro. I wouldn't mind a clock either for Skim. He's been playing really good clock this series.
Wait, didn't you just advocate for Snap going mid, but now you wanted 5?
I'm just saying, there are options. There are options, bro. The Snap or the clock, both supports I really would like with this lineup. I really like clock into Razor and Tiny, both heroes that don't really enjoy getting gone on with the hook cogs, but we'll see what they want to do with it. I also like Clock because he's active and he can play with them. You just want to secure your TB's lane, maybe even give him some kill threat.
Warlock!
Well, they'll secure it. Damn, they got team fight for days!
Heck yeah, that's what we love to see.
Yes, sir.
It's a good TB lineup there. Lots of stuns, lots of team fight. Warlock gives you a strong lane. So that's definitely a threat right now for Talon. A very scary one to figure out how are you going to play. And I'm hoping is it Morph? No.
Oh, it's Bat Rider. Free bat game. GG. I'm out. I'm out. It's done.
Do you think Yopaj will play Storm ever?
I saw Storm get picked a couple times and
it's
it
first
sucked.
bat. It's against Razor, against Wyvern.
Yeah.
No,
Ember's banned. Like if there is a Storm game, this is it, but maybe there just isn't a Storm game. We'll see if Talon think there's a possible Storm game and if they ban it or not.
People are picking it, the hero, but I've watched it a couple times in pro games this tour, and it always looks really weak because the changes to mana are like so bad that he can only kind of lightly engage. You know, before he would go like full ham, like all in, use 18 different spells. Yeah. Now it's like I'm gonna zip towards you, but not right on top of you. I'm gonna like zip and stop just before I get to you, and then I'm gonna use like 1 to 2 spells. Maybe I won't even use a second remnant because I have no mana, and then I'm gonna have to disengage with the rest of my quarter of mana. Like, it's actually pathetic.
He has a full wand because he's playing first bat?
I don't know if that is enough.
Alright, well, Puck was still in the pool, so that one instantly gets banned.
Dire team ban.
It's ban.
But what else would Yopaj play versus a bat mid? Potential bat mid. I guess they could do the offlane bat and carry Razor still.
I don't know a lot of mid matchups. If I'm thinking about Yopaj heroes, I'm thinking about like his Invoker, his Wind Ranger, his Snap, his...
Only Wind Ranger sounds acceptable out of those.
Quickly keep listing them all.
They banned Quap and Puck. I think really not thinking Storm's a hero because
Storm not a hero. Yeah, I mean Storm is a hero.
I mean he is in the game of Dota. He is pickable.
Yeah.
But not a hero as in a sense like not a pickable hero if you want to win the game.
For real.
For real.
So true.
King.
Well, I mean we'll see.
I don't know what's
Lena. Left. Lena?
I was just thinking Lena.
Or he's got a Void Spirit. He's got heroes. He is a mid player.
It's like, that's just the state of Storm right now.
When the camera comes back on, do you know what you have to do? No. The thing you just bet me at the start of this draft about Snap mid being picked.
Shave my head and die?
Oh,
bye.
There's the morph.
Oh god, right. Savage morph.
Anyway.
That's what I wanted to see from the bat pick.
Comfort, guys.
I thought it would get banned, but didn't.
It's pretty...
Thank you. It only had to be once, it didn't have to be twice.
Twice for how wrong I was.
Oh, perfect. Someone who's never wrong, I was going to say not wrong, someone who's never wrong is John! Let's bring him in! That's right, baby! Oh, he's with Nala as well. Oh, the eye roll from Mike. Alright, because John's so distracted by Nala, Mike, you get to talk first and tell me why you're going to be right this time.
First of all, I wasn't...
Please don't cut him off.
I'm sorry.
The man is
I'm sorry. It was so cute.
days.
I'm sorry. It was so cute.
Mike, please.
Well, first of all, I don't know who you guys are talking to. The only thing I see is 2 dogs on Jonathan's camera. So I don't know where John's gone. Listen, John's done everything in his power to make Boom lose this series. He's put on the Talon jersey. He's brought the Nala buff out for Talon. So there's only one man that can stop this, and I think it's me. And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. There is no way in hell Talon lose this game. It's impossible. Talon win this game 100%.
Yeah.
Literally impossible.
You're so right.
He's gone like full time stone Doctor Strange out here, and he's looked at all the possibilities of the timeline, and Talon come out on top in every single one of them.
Mike,
Everyone.
I cannot agree with you more. This is 100,000% Talon win. So free. So free.
It's so free.
So free.
John, what do you have to say back to that? Is it so free?
You know, it's a savage morphling. I think that's a pretty good start for Talon already. And me and Mike have seen this matchup of Void Spirit versus Batrider multiple times, mainly on Alacrity from NGX. It never worked out, so I'm keen to see if Yopaj understands that one a little bit more. But I think Talon might have a better time here.
All right, you were about to speak.
Yeah, Boom can't lose this series. They're gonna win 100%.
I hate you. I
impossible.
hate you, Fear.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm with
they have an
Fear.
unlosable draft, and like Boom is just gonna win.
Yeah, Boom's just
Wow.
gonna steamroll him. It'll be
Yeah,
a reflection
absolutely.
of game. Anyway, game 3. Let's see how it does play out. This is the very last game for SEA DPC 2 or 3. Mike and John, please take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Nat. Jonathan, welcome back, sir. Very, very cute dog. Love to see Nala. Did you happen to get an answer as to who Nala's rooting for this game and who she thought had a bit of draft, John?
What to win, Nala? She has no strong opinion. She just wants good Dota money. So she's not biased at all. And she just wants to see these teams put out their best. Of course, if you consider the state of C Dota and TI points, it does feel better for the scene if Boom wins, right? That basically almost guarantees them a ride to TI, and I think that's the best for the region overall. So we'll see if that's something Boom can achieve. Talon, though, I mean, they're not pulling any stops here, Mike. Savage Morphling, and we've seen this. I mean, we've just known Savage for his Morphling all the way back to Genispris days. It's just something he's really comfy on, and I think just allowing this guy to play that comfort here for Talon shows a lot of confidence. Of course, Boom has their own comfort, right? They've got the Mars on.
What is this? What is this sticker? This is some anime crap, isn't it? This CM. Right?
It is.
Last time we saw that Into the Breach IAR, and by the way, for anyone in chat, don't spam IAR. It's you guys are better than that. Don't spam. You guys are better than that. Have some standards, right? What is this CM sticker crap? I mean, it's at least realistic, John, because she's not moving, which is very realistic considering her movement speed. But go on, John, explain it.
That's Spy X Family, Mike. You uncultured swine. It's one of the best animes.
Well, it sounds
What do you
like
mean?
Talon, one of the best teams here in SEA, Jonathan, trying to move in onto Boom Esports, and well, they will walk their way up. John, I don't want to hear about this Spy X Family crap. I haven't watched it. I saw a trailer because I heard you talking about it so much. I'm going to say it right now. I thought it looked like garbage. I'm going to be honest.
What do you mean? What's wrong with you? How can you say that? How can you actually say that about Spy X Family? What's wrong with you?
It
Have you
looked
no
like
heart,
garbage.
Mike? Have you no heart? You have no heart. You're actually just a mean animal. There you go. You're since calling for you to be fired, Mike. Trash taste. That's all I have to say about you. That's it. Conversation over.
Thank you for that, John. Any Naruto fans out there? Naruto fans? All right, we'll move on. Bot lane, Jackie, Skem going to be against Q and KP. John, it's the TB Razor lane, right? In theory, it should favor KP, but I think Skem's doing a very good job of abusing that Fatal Bonds early on. It's so much damage to be dealt with at level 1 Fatal Bonds, and while you do tend to push out the creep wave with it, it doesn't really matter. As you can just force it into the opposing tier 1 tower, and then drag it back your way anyway. But how's this bot lane meant to go, John?
I think it's something very stable for Jack. He should just be able to farm. KP's already taking a ton of damage out, not feeling comfy here. And you still have the same issues with having that pause for Tiny. It just doesn't give you much in lane. Down the line, toss back with Link is going to be great. But for the first 3 levels, it does feel like Jackie's just going to be able to farm. He hasn't even leveled Metamorphosis yet, just playing around with the reflections enough to kind of cut KP off. And I don't know if you're going to have enough magical bursts to deal with it. Because, yeah, KP's going to have a lot of physical with a static Link. But to burst him down with Avalanche Toss and the support Tiny is a little bit tougher to imagine.
Look at this scam, this Giga Chad. Look how much damage he's dealing. Fatal Bonds, Shadow Word, Q just needs to run, and KP, he's not having a good time at all. Now this is zoning from a pos 5 if I've ever seen it. He's just completely doing it on his own. Props to Skem, but we'll have a look at the other lanes while we have a chance. Of course, mid lane, Makoto and Yopaj against each other. Of course, when you saw the Void Spirit picked up against the Batrider, you immediately thought of another player by the name of Alacrity, who suffered many, many times at the hands of Batrider while he was playing Void Spirit. But John, with the Idol versus Makoto on that bat, how do you feel about this matchup?
It's still a rough one for Yopaj. I think it's just naturally tough for a Void Spirit. Yopaj is kind of set, has the early Magic Wand, has 20 charges up, should be able to just farm. If he does manage to land, say, a Remnant out, you can get some good damage onto Mikado, but Mikado's doing a good job of controlling that creep wave. He has his camp open, it's not blocked off, so you should still be able to flash farm. I think Mikado should be able to work it, but, you know, you have to respect Yopaj in the place you can get. Again, if Remnant lands, it's an opportunity for Yopaj to get some momentum his way.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that top lane, final lane to talk about, Hyde and Savage against FBZ, and Tim's, of course, on the Mirana. He's actually rotating towards the mid lane already, but looks like he's just going for that 3-minute bounty rune. John, the top lane, one thing I was very shocked by in the draft is the fact that they allowed FBZ this Mars. I mean, if you were to pick any hero this man plays at the absolute best, you'd have to argue it's the FBZ Mars, and they just handed it over. I couldn't quite believe it when I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his best heroes right now. We don't see it too often, at least, you know, in this series, we haven't seen it all from FBZ. I think that reasoning from Talon is that it's something they can handle, right? Like Mars, you could still play around it. A quick BKB just cancels off what the Mars wants to do in the middle of these team fights. So as long as you get that Spellman Q running, you can still kind of work yourself around that on FBZ. And for FBZ, he's got to play momentum. We've seen some games, especially in that major in Stockholm, where sometimes his Mars wouldn't hit momentum and the tempo's just thrown off. He doesn't get a quick blink, he doesn't get BKB, the initiation just falls flat and just kind of crumbles from there. So it's still important for Boom to hit momentum here, especially with the comfort picks. And, you know, as long as FBZ manages to find some of those timings, it should still line up for Boom.
Absolutely. Look at Hyde just running away from Tim's right now. It just keeps following him down. A very rough laning start for all lanes, it feels like, from Talon, apart from Makoto's mid lane, which is going very evenly right now. But you look at the bot lane and you look at the top lane, and it's just not a great affair here for Talon whatsoever. Especially the bot lane. Like, KP on the Razor, again, props to Skem because he's just done such a great job of keeping them zoned out. But they can't even get close to Jackie.
Yeah, they just can't quite gap close. They don't get much use out of the static link. And Skem's just able to really keep that wave shoved out because of the Fatal Bonds as well. So it's not like you have a nice long lane to run around and play with here on Talon to try and threaten with a tossback. He's looking for an angle though, but... Well,
they get the angle. Skem. Static link is there. KP might be able to draw first blood here onto the Warlock as the Avalanche even landing, though Skem gonna heal himself up with the Shadow Word and be just fine, as Jackie even popping the Metamorphosis preemptively. Meanwhile, top lane Tim's almost landing an arrow there onto Savage. Could have secured them the kill had he gotten it, but range creep does actually save the day for the Morph. And back down to the bot, KP dropping extremely low on the Razor. So even with that aggression against Skem, it just doesn't really play out for them very well here, Talon. They continue to struggle down at this bot lane.
Yeah, you're just not able to really stop Jackie. And Jackie's just going to be able to farm up, build into what you want. Again, the burst damage is just sort of lacking from Talon. Avalanche Toss is great, but that's a support tiny. The level gain for Q is going to be slowing down, and you still want to prioritize KP. And considering this kind of laning start, it does feel like a longer timing for that blink as well. So the momentum for Talon from that 4 is going to be stalled out by a huge amount.
Absolutely. 6 minutes in, no first blood being drawn yet. You can see the viewers in Twitch chat, John. They did not enjoy my my based take on Spike's family. I'm sure you're having a very good.
Based, not even, Mike. Not even close to being based there, Mike. Not at all. Spike's family's great. You don't know what you're talking about.
It's
great.
I might watch the first episode just to give it a chance. Speed,
it is actually really good.
Savage gonna get arrowed up. It's a lot of damage flying in, but the strength morph is gonna keep Savage alive for now. Problem is he is gonna be very low on HP, but luckily he does have the Morbid Mask, and you also have the Cold Embrace there from Hyde, which is a really nice little combination you can run with the Morphling. Though I believe he does commit it a bit early, but kind of has to because you do have a creep wave underneath the tier 1 top tower. So it is a nice way of Savage just being able to kind of remain in the top lane unless they completely kill him off, is the fact that you do have that Morbid Mask and the Winter Wyvern right behind him. Still though, again, the laning stage, not the strongest here for the Morph. It's a bit of a slower process, and I can't say it's quite unexpected here, John, because again, it's FBZ Mars. He's very good on this hero. You see him, he's got 19 denies in this top lane.
Yeah, there's also just not much a Morphling can really do onto the
Jackie?
Mars. You just kind of want to focus on the farm.
That'll be a great pick off. They'll pick up Jackie. First blood to go the way of Makoto on the Batrider. Very nice rotation. There's now Yopaj just trying to help out. Is going to get chased down by Makoto, and he does have lasso up. And look at this Batrider with the haste, and he just keeps chasing. But surely, oh, he's going to go for it anyway. Lasso is there. Onto Yopaj, he's completely out of mana now. Surely no way out of this. They'll try to Shadow Word him up, but it's not going to be enough. Makoto, 2 kills already the way of Talon, both going the way of the Batrider. And that's a great start if I've ever seen one, John. He even finds a double damage.
It's just great tempo coming out from Talon. They find that haste, they hold on to it, see that opportunity bot, instantly go back in with the DD, and Jackie TP's back into that lane. Even after those set of kills. No lasso to play with, so a little bit harder to lock him down. And Jackie does have the opportunity to walk away, but that's the aggression Talon needs. They get this strong start coming through from Mikado. He can start to make some plays, hit that early timing on the trebles, and start running around. In contrast, you know, you think about that Void Spirit, its spikes tend to be Yules, Ags, and any of those items are still a long way off here for Yopaj, not even having full phase boots up. Just a slower game from mid because of that matchup. That again, we've seen multiple times, specifically from old NGX, when Alacrity would have to play Void Spirit almost every game. And Batrider matchup is just, it's not easy for Yopaj. He's still hanging in there, but kind of tied up with KP for bottom network core. Considering how slow KP's lane is, that's not the best of news for Boom. Gonna have to find a way to get the aggression off with Yopaj and snowball back into the game.
Sometimes I feel so bad for Alacrity, because every time we see Batrider, his name just pops up from our mouths. Every time. I mean, Alacrity, he's not even in the game, John, but we've got to mention him every time we see Batrider. Arrow.
Hyde.
Top lane. Hyde's going to be okay. Very short range arrow there from Timps. But you look at FBZ, John. This is why you can't give this man months. Dominates the lane, starts pushing tier 1 tower early. It's Arctic Burn. He was Arctic Burn. Yeah. He was flying. That's not a bug. Q is going to move in with an avalanche. He's not going to be able to try and secure a kill onto FBZ. In fact, look at this. The Mars, thinking about even moving back in, won't do so. And Hyde, very nice with the Arctic Burn, just allowing himself to fly over the arena. As now Makoto does rotate up towards the top lane, but won't have a nice angle to try and move in with the lasso. Instead, we'll head back towards the mid lane, where Yopaj might be in a spot of danger, but no. He's got Astral Step charges. He should be just fine to back himself out. And Makoto, he remains top of the net worth board. Boosted travel already up, and again, it's a great game for him. Just see if he can keep this tempo going.
Yep, just needs to hit further itemization. You'd want the BKB next, of course, on the Batrider. Maybe a cheeky Blink or Force Staff afterwards, and you feel pretty good in ripping into that back line. For Boom's part, you could set your momentum off from FBZ, as you mentioned here, Mike. Blink is coming up next, already has the phase, along with a double bracer and soul ring. So you're kind of getting ready to hit those spikes, but they've done a great job here in Talon of just removing Savage from that equation. They drag him into the jungle with that early Morbid Mask, have Hyde soak up top, try to clear out the creep wave with a blast. It's still, the tower's eventually going to fall, but it's a lot slower than you'd want it to be here on Boom, and that's time where they're not hunting down Savage, punishing that Morphling.
Well, Scam, he's about to get punished here, John. They are going to find Jackie, though. In fact, Yopaj is going to rotate down bot lane. KP immediately caught out, and Makoto this time unable to make an initiation. Looks like he was going to commit for Scam, but just won't find it worth it once he sees the Void Spirit around. Instead, we'll stick around for the bot lane farm, but still, this rotation not going to pan out the way of Talon.
Yeah, it just feels like, again, it's just going back to how Talon wants to play. They sacrifice KP, they enable Q to have much more farm. Like, he takes mid, he's level 6 in the Tiny, saving up for his Blink next. So they want to hit that momentum on that here. They know where their tempo will come from. And they know that the Razor really just needs a BKB, so they're kind of allowing KP to just have a tougher lane. They're buying space for Savage. You could argue the same for Jackie. The Terrorblade is farming up at a pretty good pace here, Mike, not too far behind. Going into the man to build up. And that Terrorblade is going to be pretty damn tough to deal with. Like, you do have good answers, although it's a bit tricky for the Bat Rage to get on top, especially, again, without the Blink and the BKB. It's still a ways off for Mikado. You have a pretty good zone here for Boom to play off this strong start from Jackie and FBZ. Probably just waiting for that Blink and FBZ down the line.
Mikado and Q now smoke up towards the top lane. Try and go after FBZ on the Mars, but quick back from FBZ, realizing there's too many heroes missing off the map right now. Or back into the triangle instead. Scan is out. It's a very nice scan from Talon. I don't know where FBZ is, but can they make their way over? Well, they're going to try and have a hunt around. FBZ, though, doing a very good job, just completely blind of avoiding Makoto and Q. And yeah, he just knows. He knows they're around here somewhere. Again, they are ex-teammates, so chances are FBZ can kind of get into the mind of Makoto, and he does avoid the gank altogether. Quite a bit of wasted time here for the Batrider. He'll get right back to farming anyway. Meanwhile, you look at these two pos ones once again, John. Look how close they are in net worth. There's Savage and Jackie. As most people would know, they're actually quite close friends. Especially back in those Motivate Trust days, Savage always standing in, and kind of nice to see them both at the top of SCA right now, in a way. Is Hyde gonna get jumped on here by Yopaj, but the Astral Step does not connect onto the Winter Wyvern. That's one charge gone. Try to set up onto the top tier 1 tower here, Boom. Q, the only one really guarding it, but you've also got Hyde around if you need be. It's Q, might just kind of sack his life here. We'll go for an Avalanche and a Tumbler's Toy out, and well, Golem is going to be dropped, but Makoto is going to move in as now a nice curse into a toss back. Oh Yopaj! Outplayed there by Q and Hyde. Onto FBZ they go. They'd love a Mars as well. Instead, they'll go after Skem. Oh, I love that from Q. Curse into toss into the enemy team. And that gets Yopaj dead.
Yeah, that's a cheeky play coming out from Talon, but it does pay off. They do drag Savage up top to farm. FBZ still in position here, though. Does have the TP out if he wants to, so he shouldn't be under any major threat. And Boom still finds the objective they go for, right? They sacrifice a lot to get that done. They sacrifice the Golem. It's another little gold pickup here for Talon to find. And they are getting that build up on Savage. Hold on.
Yeah, mid lane, Hyde. Gonna get taken out, so the Void Spirit, immediate revenge as he does spawn back up, and Boom. They are grouped up around the Void Spirit, but no smoke to be popped. So they just want to, no, never mind, they do pop a smoke immediately. Tims and Yopaj back down towards the bottom side, where KP is still farming up on the Razor. Much easier kill on the Razor, considering he's just really not that tanky without the BKB up. But they aren't gonna find him either. KP, some nice map movement reading. Let's back his way out, and well, Boom, they could try to go into the triangle, but it is a little bit risky. Makoto is around. He's a high-value target. But now he's going to notice Tims is around, dewarding that sentry. They will not be able to make the jump into the Batrider. And that'll be about it. Everyone from Talon kind of just sitting back and getting that initial farm going. I mean, Boom have certainly been on the hunt much more often, but past couple smokes just haven't really amounted to what they're looking for.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for Boom is, again, still that blink timing on FBZ. It's flying out now on Courier, so they can start these fights on their terms now much easier with that Mars. Start to find those pickoffs on Sports who might be sticking a bit too far forward. Q, his blink, only 200 gold away. So it's going to be down to who wants to play around these blink timings a lot more. I feel like Boom's going to be wanting to group up much more around FBZ now. Want to look for that punishment onto Savage, especially while he doesn't have his full manta up. And Yopaj is inching towards his Ags here, Mike. Been allowed to farm up a bit, 2 parts away. And Boom will go for that smoke commitment.
It seems Talon, they are putting a lot of emphasis on getting these BKBs up, and we all understand how powerful BKBs are as an item. Well, Boom, they're going to move in. FBZ could have a great initiation. Smoke broken, but he can't decide who he wants. He saw Savage, but he did not see Talon on the low ground. And when he did, it's just kind of like, who do I aim for? He couldn't get the morph in time. So instead, Boom, they're going to head towards the mid-tier 1 tower. They hold on to that Blink Arena. And they still get it. So they are still getting away with some objectives here, Boom. But Talon, they don't really seem to flinch. They're just more than happy keeping the farm game going.
Yeah, they're just taking their time. This does feel much stronger for Boom though, Mike. This allows them to invade that top jungle, cut off the sources of farm for Savage and Mikoto. They do manage to find a bot here on Talon's end. Not the biggest objective at this point. So maybe a little bit more leeway onto the bot jungle, but Boom already has some great wards covering. And again, Boom, they still hold onto their ults. They have Moonlight, they have Arena ready to go. They'll eventually have this Ags timing on Yopaj. They at least have one BKB already up in town. And KP gonna be ready for the onslaught coming in. Should be able to have a much more presence on that Razor. But you're still waiting for Mikoto, who's still about 1,000 gold away. And Savage at least has Manta to protect, but it's a little bit rougher, although.
Well, they're gonna find Hyde. Gonna be the Wyvern gone, as KP can't really help out on the Razor. It at least has his BKB up now, but can't really assist, as they do find another 3 to 4 now, 17.5 minutes in. A very slow game compared to the first two. Again, so much on the line from these two teams, and I think so much respect as well, right? Like, you're 1-1 right now. The previous series they had earlier on in DPC 2 or 3 was very close as well. And so just a lot of respect between these two teams, not willing to give any kind of openings away and not make any kind of mistakes. As Boom, well, they're going to find a double damage here for Japoi. They'll get that bottled up, and he's only about 750 gold away from the full Aghanim Scepter. They could go for a gank, but Talon, very nice scan out. Gonna scan exactly where Boom are hanging out right now, and well, Moonlight Shadow is popped. Boom. They might try to still force a fight, but now with smoke out from Talon, they know that whoever's up top is completely alone, and that's gonna be Jackie on the TB, but he leaves his illusions behind. He'll let them do the work. Jackie backs off at the right moment, and Talon, they are not gonna find anything.
Bit of a long swing around if they want to go into that triangle. So gonna have to just let it go, although they're still running forward. Do have Q's blink up here.
They're pinging out that triangle. Wards down. They're going to see Jackie on the TB, but can they grab him in time? Avalanche is up. Toss is there. Golem dropping now. The Sunder. It's going to make it just in the nick of time. Skem saves the day, but can they save completely? KP, he sapped a lot of damage away, but now he's trapped up. The arena down from FBZ, getting 2 of them. Hyde, he's going to drop, and KP will follow. Oh, Skem with the Golem drop. It was so close, yet so far for Talon. And now Jackie, with the meta popped, he's going right after Roshan. No messing about for Boom.
Yep. They've got good damage coming through from Jackie. Not going to take too long to rip through that, but now you have Mikoto in with his own BKB that hasn't been popped here.
It's very scary now for Boom. Meanwhile, oh, Savage. Ooh. Savage goes down across the map. The Ags was up on Yopaj, and with a double damage, he wasn't expecting it. Now Q to get caught out on the Tiny, and suddenly Talon somewhat falling apart here, Jonathan. 20 minutes into the game, Roshan is still going the way of Boom Esports. And they are really just smothering Mikoto right now, just following him down as FBZ. Gonna catch out his previous teammate. They can't land an arrow yet though, Mikoto. He'll be on the run, but Tims might just continue chasing him down. Blind arrow is thrown out, but is off the mark. So FBZ, maybe a blind spear. FBZ, he'll try. It's just going to be off the mark. That's positioning from Mikoto for the TP. But Boom Esports, couple kills, free Roshan. You couldn't be much happier if you're Boom.
You're in control of the game now on Boom's end. You've got a ton of farm on Jackie, a good sizable lead over Savage. Not, not unplayable for Talon, but a really strong position that it's hard to kind of contest that terribly. Scotty's almost done. A little bit more for the second ultimate orb into that point booster, and the terribly it's just going to be so hard to rip apart. Talon still needs a lot more to come in. Like, they need a BKB on Savage. The Manta's just not going to cut it, and KP just uses BKB to run off, but the presence on his Razor again is just not being felt here.
He's not safe yet either, John. He's caught out. FBZ, he just kept chasing him down, and eventually they catch him. Another death for the Razor, and I think it was the panel were saying, John, whichever team chooses Razor just ends up losing. And so far for Talon, it really has not worked out. Not whatsoever.
It's just not doing enough. The laning phase for KP was a little bit slower. Couldn't really slow down Jackie. He's working onto a Sanj, so at least some stat resist on hand, a little bit more durability. But Boom just doesn't care. They smoke up. FBZ, no arena, but just the spear alone might be enough if they can connect it into an arrow.
FBZ's been very, very good on this Mars already. Q gonna show himself mid lane. In he goes again. FBZ. Toss is there though. FQ is gonna be safe for now, but they've also caught out Hyde. It's a 2-for-1 special. Yopar, she'll take both of them. 10-4 now. 4K advantage the way of Boom, and it's starting to feel like this whole game rests on the shoulders of 23 Savage. But against TB, I don't know how I feel about it. John Jackie, he's getting very close to that IF Skadi timing now. And we know how hard the game gets once you've got that Skadi against Morph.
Yeah, it's a tough game for Talon. Boom, playing really great, playing around that tempo on FVZ, and you talked about it in the draft there, Mike. Talon allowed FVZ to pick up his special Mars, thinking they could handle it. So far, doesn't seem like they can. Boom's just been playing off that momentum very well. And in comparison, KP's just not having so much impact on the Razor. They're kind of reliant on Hyde to land some massive Winter's Curses. They've got that blink on Q, but it's been a bit difficult to find the angle in. They will go for a smoke play.
They smoke run into the Skadi timing, John. FBZ, he's going to break the smoke. He has Arena up. Meanwhile, Makoto, who did he actually end up catching? It's only Tim's. Meanwhile, FBZ actually in trouble. On the Mars, they'll chase him down, and boom, not looking for a fight, end up losing 2. They lost the Mirana, and FBZ, he was kind of going in, but nobody followed him up.
Pretty sizable kill coming out from Talon. Not the biggest in the world. You definitely want to find Jackie and Yopaj once more. And boom. They still have the Aegis for a minute and a half. Again, as you mentioned, fresh Scotty as well on Jackie. Metamorphosis in a minute. So it's going to be a little bit longer until that full force is out from Terrorblade. But they know Talon's expended quite a fair bit. No lasso for quite a while. BKBs are still active on at least Mikato and Savage, but none on KP. They could just kind of hunt down the Razor, make it 4v5, and clean up afterwards once more.
There's still 4K advantage, but Talon are still showing signs of life here in this game number 3. Arcane Rune can be spotted, and in fact, Tim's gonna spot Q on the Tiny. There's 3 heroes from Talon around as the arrow does get thrown out, but they are already back here, Talon. So boom, even with that previous fight, they want to keep trying to move in. They have 40 more seconds on that Aegis timing. Question is, can they find anybody in time though? And the answer appears to be no. So Talon, again, playing a very good game of just avoiding Boom Esports this game number 3 and buying Savage even more time in that morph. But they might be forced to try and defend this bottom tier 2 tower very soon. Jackie's moving up, and this is the last outer tower here for the side of Talon. They will rotate 2 heroes down, but Moonlight Shadow and Boom, they're going to try and force a fight, I think. They'll rotate around the dire triangle. Oh, Talon, they're all grouped up. Arrow, it might get a bit of vision. Not quite. They don't see what they wanted. Talon, they will set up with the Observer Wards for the fight in the triangle, but boom, they immediately move over. Smoke up. FBZ, he's in position to break the smoke, though Talon, they'd love to find the Warlock first here if they can, and they will wrap around the long way. Try to sneak up on Skem if you can. Instead, for now, Talon finding nothing for their trouble. Heading all the way down south, but nobody around to gank. In fact, Savage, all alone in the triangle, but he's also fine. They will not see him on Boom.
Radiant's courier has been
Smoke does not work.
Yep. It's a lot of time wasted here on Talon's end. Boom, just happy enough to stand back. They still have this fresh BKB and FBZ to show off as well.
Oh, Yopaj. Gonna see Makoto, but instead it's on to Hyde. They want the Wyvern first, and they've got him. Makoto also getting trapped up. He got stunned and taken down. Oh, Q, he tried to help out, but he could not do anything in time. In goes Yopaj. After Savage, they'd love the Morphling, but Savage gonna be just fine to waveform out. And Makoto, what stun did he cop? Was that the arrow?
Yeah, I think he got arrowed. Cop the arrow, massive stun. Opening for the high ground, Metamorphosis ready on Jackie. They did not have to use the BKB on FBZ either. So, still a lot of good team fights left here for Boom and Talon. Their high ground holds mainly on Hyde. They need to find an angle for that curse. They've got the blink and the Wyvern, but Boom are very disciplined. Look at them. They're just kind of declumped by that ramp.
Oh, absolutely. Tier 3 tower gone. Hyde, Winter's Curse. It will find one. That'll be Tim's gone. Nice setup from Hyde. Forcing a 4v5. And that'll be enough for Boom to back off. They won't risk it going for the mid-racks. They'll play it safe. Just a tier 3 tower. The Talon, that will buy them a bit more time to keep this game going. Again, with this Morphling, you do have some amazing scaling, but you are up against a Terrorblade, and well, you are going to need your own Eye of Skadi here for Savage to really feel like you can carry this game. For now, he's a worlds away from that. He's lacking a lot of gold, is what I'm trying to say here, John.
Still a ways off. At the least, he's going to have one ultimate orb on hand, but still lacking the point booster plus another orb. And Boom just never rest. They keep going aggressive. They've got a good position. Savage isn't safe here.
Here we go again, but a nice scan. Talon. Oh, Savage. Still front lining here for the team, but seems very confident. Has his own BKB, and Boom see that, and that'll be enough for them to back off. Again, just so much pressure on these two teams and so much respect being given between these two. Neither one willing to give an opening. Just wonder at what point Talon just group up and try to go for something. It might be a game where it's just all about Roshan once again, and well, to be fair, Roshan is going to be up in a minute 10, so we won't be waiting too long for that next Roshan.
It's going to be here sooner rather than later. Both sides have some great ways of fighting in that pit. It does feel maybe a bit stronger for Boom with Arena and Golem on top, and Boom will force the fight first, going for another smoke play sneaking out here. Talon have to be a bit cautious. They are hugging their high ground for now, but there are still good angles, especially in that top jungle for Boom to take.
Go Boom. Who do they find first? Talon, are they prepared for this fight? They've headed up towards the north, up towards the top lane. It's going to be an arcane rune sitting there at the top rune spot, but nobody goes to pick it up yet from Boom. In fact, Yopaj will bottle it up himself. KP in position to break the smoke. Outpost to be taken. Can they get a stun on somebody? FBZ, he'll start on the Tiny and Yopaj. He'll make the jump in, but the cold embrace. It's going to buy a bit more time here for Q to survive through it. And he will be able to force stuff out as now the lasso. Makoto. Aeon Disc is going to be proc. Yopaj, he's still fine. Everyone backs off. FBZ still has the arena up, looking to initiate once again, and Talon, they're on the run. Golem is dropped. It only connects on one, but they found the Wyvern. That'll be Hyde gone. Now on the tree line, Talon, they're all stuck right now. FBZ, where's the arena? Not out yet. Meanwhile, KP, he'll TP away as they find both supports. So Talon, they lose Hyde, they lose Q. All the cores got out of there. But Roshan is now available. Massive win for Boom Esports.
They got a huge opening. They still have the Metamorphosis ready to go here on Jackie. They've got the damage coming through. The Aeon Disc pickup from Yopaj, catching Talon off guard. They committed lasso. They didn't find a big kill they wanted. Now they're going to have to really think twice about that angle coming through with a blink on Mikado. Second rush of the game here for Boom with a free shard. Demon Zeal on Jackie could be massive. Secondary spear target on FZ is also pretty darn good. So I think either one's going to be nice. And Talon just can't get there in time. You're just going to have to surrender another Roche. They are starting to clump around bot. But with a secondary life on Jackie, it does feel like the path for Boom to find this game 3 is pretty clear now, Mike.
It certainly is, John. I mean, currently 90% win probability here for Boom Esports. Talon. Oh, they might get run into. Jackie frontlining this time around. Find some raindrops on the floor. BZ. That initiation. Yopaj, he's going to make the jump in, but the Aether Remnant not going to connect, and now FBZ not on the mark with the spear, but has a nice arena onto 2, into an arrow setup onto Q, so Jackie, he can get to work. Hyde, he'll at least get a curse off, but it's not an illusion. It will not save the day, and that's your curse down now. So Boom, they'll just keep going. FBZ, he's going to find Hyde on the Wyvern, and he will soon follow Q. There's now high ground is going to be available, and you know, when Skem starts spamming voice lines, John, he's feeling happy.
Oh yeah, they're having a great time here on Boom. Talon just not able to find anything, and they're rushing deep.
Nice Aether Remnant. KP forced the BKB up and go for a link. Savage now does have the Skadi up at least, but without your supports, you can't really hope to defend this mid lane of Barracks. They'll have to at least accept one of them going down. The Metamorphosis is almost over, so Boom, I believe we'll back off after this. Unless, jump in. They found Makoto on the Bat Rider, and he's already gone. Oh, Yopaj just takes him out so easily. And now without the Bat Rider buyback, you just keep going. You don't need Metamorphosis. You just need to hit towers.
Yeah, they've got great damage coming through without the buyback and the Bat Rider. No threat of lasso here. And Mikado popped his BKB right before dying. So he doesn't even have that protection on the respawn. And that's going to be 2 set of racks going the way of Boom. Talon's still protected down bot with a tier 2. But Boom has a massive advantage in this game 3. And again, the pat for Talon, it just doesn't feel like we're seeing it. We had a much slower start for KP once more. The Razor is just not doing anything here. In comparison, FBZ on his offlane Mars, it's just been dancing around. He's been setting up for the team and just enabling them to bounce back after a bit of a slower start for Yopaj on mid.
Here we go again. Boom Esports still looking to run at the side of Talon, who just seem like the game plan just has not worked out for them. They'll try to back off here with KP. Such a rough position now, 18k behind, and well, Dota Plus just keeps going up, John. Talon currently 1% chance of making a comeback here. But they do have a chance. And there's your 5-man smoke up. This could be the final team fight. Yopaj, he's in position to break the smoke, but does walk away for a moment as they are still rushing down. But now they have found a target. It'll be Tims and the Marana, but what a golden drop scam. And now the arena, FBZ, he'll take down Makoto again. No buyback available on the Bat Rider. As Savage, he's going to try and chase down the Warlock, but Scam's just walking away into the tree line. And Jackie will follow very, very closely as Savage, still trying after Scam. Spirit is going to land, however, they found the Warlock, but what's it going to cost the side of Talon? Savage still alive, but can't really afford to die as Yopaj does keep following, but do they have enough? Not quite yet. The Morphling is out of there. Buyback is out on Scam. It's a 4v4 scenario. Still no buyback available on Makoto. The final lane of barracks, or at least the tier 3 tower, is now under siege from Boom. Keep in mind, they don't have a great duration left on this Metamorphosis. About a third of its duration still available. They do have enough time to get the racks, but Talon can certainly look to slow them down as they do jump in, but the Halberd immediately out onto KP, and he is just going to melt to the damage output if he's not careful. He's slowed up, but Jackie, a man of objectives, goes after the bot racks instead, and eventually we'll just leave after the Metamorphosis is gone. There's no rush here for Boom. They are not throwing this game Talon's way, that's for sure.
They just play it clean, they back off, they don't give any openings out to Talon. 19-9, 20k lead for Boom, and they're being a lot more calculated about it. Very disciplined play. They know they've got the lead. They've still got Aegis here for about 50 seconds, but not too much time left. Jackie, very close to the Ags, just lacking about 1.2k gold. And once that's up, secondary Metamorphosis with a Terror Wave is going to be massive. Where, again, there's just no play from Talon. They go with this very passive offlane on the Razor. They're relying mainly on Q and Mikado and to an extent High to set up these team fights for them, but they just get ripped apart by the Void Spirit. Yopaj jumps in, gets the silent off, and you have nothing to protect the Winter Wyvern. It's a Pause 5 Wyvern. It's not going to have BKB, not even a Glimmer Cape on hand for High to try to stall out and look for the angle on the Curse. And Boom just has all the tools available. FBZ just runs in, Yopaj to follow up, nothing to protect the backline. And again, just Talon, they're not seeing that opportunity to play the pickoff game anymore. They kind of, their best shot right now is just a toss back from Q, maybe a great lasso out from Mikado, but Boom's always clumped up as 4 or 5 here.
Still 1% chance here, John. They're not out of this one yet, Talon. Divine Rapier is now queued up on Savage. Kind of goes to show the state of the game. Talon obviously realizing that, well, actually he's changing it up. He does unqueue the Divine Rapier. Very hard to decide what to buy in these kind of situations as the carry, but whatever kind of gets the job done is the answer. Meanwhile, on Boom's side, obviously a very calm kind of moment here for Boom to keep their farm going, and I believe an Aghanim Scepter now coming out on Jackie. So you do have that Terror Wave available, and we've seen how great this man can be when the Terror Wave is up. So Boom, they'll move in once again. Savage Reflection is there, but they completely ignore it. They just want the Megas up. KP's going to make a jump in, though. Trying to slow this one down is Makoto, unable to find a lasso. The TB still fine as now Japoi jumps in after the Tiny, but Q also going to survive through it as Hyde looking for a curse, but now FBZ, what an arena! He's caught all 4 of them into the Golem and the Fatal Bonds, and they are just going to get wiped. Oh, it's not even close. FBZ putting a lid on this game, and it was only natural, Jonathan. The Kings of SEA 4-2 or 3. It's still going to be Boom Esports.
Yeah, they managed to make it work. They played disciplined in game number 2 and 3, and they come out on top. They get the points, and this is just to put the magnitude of the series, right? If Boom didn't manage to find this win and didn't manage to tie in first place for themselves, their position for a TI invite was up in the air. With this, I believe statistically they should have very good chances to lock in the invite for TI by points, and that's just great news for the region. Talon, it looked a bit shaky. Game 1 was their best showing there. Game 2, Game 3, it's super passive. I think in this game especially, we're seeing again KP on the offlane Razor just couldn't make plays. In comparison, FVZ had this running start. You did have a good time for Makoto on mid, right? The Batrider versus Void Spirit lane, again, we've seen so many times. Very sorry for Alacrity for using him as an example, but you know, it went exactly as we kind of expected, although Yopaj was managing a little bit better, but he was off to a slow start. FVZ just put the game on his back, had his Mars. Talon just let it through, and we can see why you don't let FBZ have that Mars in these games, Mike.
Oh, absolutely not. Just not a great idea to give that Mars away. There was a congrats for TI in the all chat, so I'm not 100% sure if the points have stacked up now for Boom to just guaranteed qualify, but you know, nonetheless, we'll find out very soon. I'm sure the panel will know the answer to that question. Still, props to Talon as well, John. I mean, we've got to give our props. They obviously come second in 2 or 3, but John, they just came from lower division. Right? This is a team that nobody was really expecting to perform that well in Div 1, and that they have, so congratulations to them as well. Very excited for the upcoming major, and I think we've got a fantastic stack of teams here going into that Arlington major.
Oh, yeah.
Still, we are going to have to do for a very short break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with our lovely panel for an interview and a breakdown of the series. We'll see you then.
Well, Boom have done it. They are your... They are your number 1 SEA in DPC 2 or 3.
Stop laughing. Sorry.
I'm not laughing.
You laughed first. Go. Sorry.
Anyway, congratulations to Boom. You guys take the $30,000 and the 500 DPC points, and unfortunately, Talon, you get second place. That's not actually, unfortunately. That's still fantastic. It is, remember, their first time in Division 1, so they have done it fantastic. Such an accomplishment, even though they couldn't take out first place here in this Tiebreaker series. But let's break down game number 3. Have a little bit of a more in-depth conversation about it. Fia, for you, what would you say was the biggest weakness for Talon?
I mean, the game 1 and 2, I'm going to have to say that KP had a really rough 2 games, right? Like in game 2, he played the Marcy, talked about how the impact wasn't quite there. He had a rough laning stage. Was no difference here in game number 3. The Razor's a hero, it's a carry offlaner. You need to get a lot of farm on this hero. You don't necessarily have to win your lane. It's not bad if you win your lane by any means, but you're not always going to win your lane. But you do have to find a way to have impact on this hero, get the BKB early. And unfortunately, he was just sitting at the bottom of the net worth for pretty much the entirety of this game number 3.
Does it worry you seeing that performance for their potential major showing?
Depends on what style they want to play. I talked about before, I really like to see KP play the style of being a Mars or being this Brewmaster teamfight control. It's the same as Boom, it's just the Southeast Asia, the region in general. They play really good with these Tempo Maker teamfighter offlaners, but you know, they're like 0-10 with Razor offlane, right? In the first phase.
Yeah.
Surely this is a second phase Razor, but to me it doesn't really change anything. I just don't think this region at the current point in time plays these carry offlanes very well.
So if I read between the lines, what you're saying is just don't pick Razor anymore.
Or just get better at it, I guess, right? Like, go watch some replays of, you know, Western Europe does one thing well. Like, they do play, like, these carries offlane pretty well. Like, Amar, he started this, and we mentioned how much of a win rate it has over there. And it can't be any coincidence that the win rate over here in Southeast Asia is really bad. We're doing something wrong, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's have a chat about Boom because after all, they did win this game number 3. They won this series, so there was obviously something that they were doing very well, Sheep.
Yeah, they were popping. They had a little bit of a rough start. Obviously, they were getting run down a bit, but it felt like they just kind of stopped giving kills away, and slowed it down because this game was pretty slow for a while. And I know FBZ was struggling a little bit with his spears, or a couple of missed ones, some that led to deaths. It was kind of scary, but then they kind of just, I don't know, shaped up. They did the same thing last time. They just have the combos of various stuns into arrows, and they were just killing and picking off like that, and they were doing it very effectively. They played the map really well, I think. Like, you know, you have Yopaj, Void Spirit, and Tim's Marana running around killing people, and then you have like Jackie farming his triangle. They did a really good job of just like placing Skem, you know, with him in order to like disengage from these smokes. Like, I think they read the smoke from Talon pretty well into their triangle earlier in the game. Or into the jungle, top jungle, I should say. That's why they backed off into the triangle. And then when it did happen, quick golem down, break up the stuns, TB gets the Sunder off, everyone reacts. Like, they're all just playing really well around each other and, like, splitting up heroes on the map as they need to like, prioritize what they want.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can talk about the game a little bit more in a second because I actually want to jump to our interview.
Hey,
we're going to be joined by FBZ. FBZ, congratulations on coming first in 2 or 3. How does that feel?
Hello. Thank you. It feels great, and I'm excited for the future. But also, like, we feel like we didn't do like good in the game. Yeah, we make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, we still have a lot of things to improve.
Okay. I guess, you know, you guys came up against Talon earlier in the tour. This is a rematch for you guys, and you won this. What was done differently, and does it feel better to get the rematch win over Talon?
Yeah, it feels good that we finally get our revenge. Because yeah, we also wanted the tiebreaker. Yeah.
And what was different to last time you guys faced off?
Yeah. I think the last time our hero, I would say, is not really good, and I would say our gameplay also that time it wasn't really good, but from that point we improve a lot, I would say.
Okay.
What was your attitude coming into this series? Like, were you guys trying really hard as if it was a normal like DPC match, or were you a bit more relaxed because it's like just tiebreakers?
We give 100% definitely because we know that DPC point is really important, and yeah, we were a little bit like overhyped in the game 1, and then we keep making a lot of bad decision making because yeah, the series is really important. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and also, how did you feel when Talon just came out and banned your Mars Pango straight away in first phase?
Yeah, it's kinda expected because they don't want me to use my my comfort hero.
Well, FBZ, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the interview, and congratulations again on coming first place. We look forward to seeing Boom at the major.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank
good
you.
luck.
See ya. Oh, nice little recap there about this series. It's great to see that the Boom Boys are always looking to improve, but it's pretty difficult to improve on first place because that is where Boom are sitting up there nice and pretty, number 1. They won 2-1. They take the revenge here in 2-3, taking first place. Talon getting second, like I said, a formidable feat for their first time in Division 1. Fnatic getting third. Our 3 teams are going to be representing SEA at the major. RSG just missing out. Then T1, one of those notable names in SEA that won't be showing their faces at the major this time around. SMG just escaping relegation, which means we have NGXC and Polaris going down to Division 2 together for the next tour. And that is it. That is the end of SEA Tour 3 for us, but it's not the end of our Dota games today. We do have some Eastern Europe tiebreakers coming up. Before we do jump over to that though, we have a very nice little goodbye video about the SEA Tour 3 DPC.